Next part of the bridge build is to find a suitable roadway. So I went to my local hardware automotive store and I found the suitable lengths of 150 grit black emery paper. So what I've done is I've set it up to cut it to suit, and then we'll stick them in. So that's the first section cut to size, and it looks quite good. I'll put a line down the middle once I'm finished and maybe dress it up a little bit with some oil stains and such like. But I think it's coming together. Well, as you can see, I've cut out sandpaper to suitable widths to cover the foam core and establish a roadway. But before I glue them in, I need to address the pavement or sidewalk, as you might call it. So they're strips of card, and I've scored them in to make it look as if they've been set in a pattern. And now I've got some grey acrylic paint that I'm going to try and use, and we'll see how this goes. It might be just a little bit on the thick side, and what I have done is I watered it down a little bit, and hopefully the grooves that I've cut will show through, and I think they're already beginning to do that. So I think that's enough to get started on, and then I'll finish this off and we'll go on to the next step. Well, there's very little you can do about warping. I've got a variety of weights here that I've put on the bridge deck, hoping to prevent it, but even my bowstring bridge spans, you know, I did my best to try and prevent warping, but it happens. And I'll get some structural members and tie them across here to try and keep them straight. Nevertheless, the next part is to take one of the pieces of sandpaper and glue it to the deck. Now, for that, I'm going to be trying the Elmer's glue, and the reason I've decided on that is because it doesn't warp, because there is no water in the glue. The cap was stuck on, so I had to put it under the hot water to get it off. So all I'm going to do is apply a liberal amount of this glue onto the sandpaper, and then I'll weigh it down, and hopefully that will be enough to keep it in place without any warping. And I'll put some weights on it, so I'm just hoping you can see this. And I'm sliding it into position in between the two sidewalks there. It can't always be perfect with your dimensions and cuts. I just hope you can get it as close as possible. And then what I'll do is I'll put these weights back on. Well, it doesn't seem as if it's going to be adhering. I may end up having to try something else. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. While we're waiting for the roadway to dry from being glued, I thought I'd just jump into the topic of trees again. Now, some of you may have seen, this is from grapes, so I'll let it dry out, and I'm just going to cut off the one part there. It'd be a sort of low-lying tree, but you can, as I said, you can cut it to suit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a quick spray. And then I'm going to take some blender turf from Woodland Scenics, some light coloured leaves or green and foliage clusters, and then apply them to this. So I start in the sort of underside. Now, mind you, this type of tree might not be native to where you're located, but you know, if it's hidden in a forest or in the background, you're not really going to see much, and you'll just know that there is in fact a tree in there. Just make sure you can see that properly. And you can continue to add to it until you're satisfied with the way the foliage looks. If you have enough, if you need to add some more, you know, just suit yourself. So that's the main construction of the bridge complete, with the exception of the structural members to tie the bowstrings together. I applied some oily black on here to suggest a bit of oil leakage from the buses, and we'll see how that all pans out. But in the meantime, this bus here is on its way to Ayr. This is the Western bus line, and a more local bus going into Paisley on the south side of the River Clyde. So I think that looks pretty good. And if you enjoyed this, please remember to give me the big thumbs up. It does encourage me to do more. And subscribe if you can. And please look for the next chapter in the completion of the bridge. I look forward to seeing you next time here at Partickhill Station. Bye for now.